Hey everyone, it's John. Welcome back. So today I want to talk to you about fulfillment and how you can make just one change today to feel infinitely better about your life starting right now. So tell me if this sounds familiar. You get to the end of your day, having done everything you were supposed to do. You've answered the emails, you've attended the meetings, you have handled your responsibilities, and that long list that you've set at the start of the day is mostly crossed off. And by every measure, it was a productive day. And yet you are sitting there at the end of it, knowing that and feeling that something is still missing. Well, it wasn't that you hadn't achieved anything. You had. And it wasn't a lack of effort either. You gave that. What was missing is actually fulfillment. That deep sense of actually having lived the day rather than just simply surviving it. Of having been present in your own life rather than just moving through it. And most people feel this and they cannot name it. So they decide to be more productive the next day. Their list gets longer, they fill it up with more stuff, and they check off more boxes, and they're exhausted at the end of the day, feeling even more burnt out, feeling so stressed, and feeling unfulfilled. So productivity was never the issue here. The issue that you may have is your level of presence. So the most peaceful people on earth figured that out a long time ago through something far similar and far simpler than any system or strategy. So here is an interesting fact that you should know about your brain. Microsoft research found that the human mind wanders from what it is doing 47% of the time. So nearly half of your waking life is spent somewhere else other than where you actually are. And that research found that the wandering mind is not only less productive, it is also less happy. And in all measurement, you are significantly less happy than you could be. So this has nothing to do with where the mind wanders to per se, but simply that it had left the present moment. So either your mind has gone into the distant future, or it is worrying about what might happen tomorrow with your career, your money, your finances, or even a month or year or decade down the road, into a future that you cannot control or guarantee that you will be even around for. Can you imagine that? You're spending so much time worrying about the future 10 years from now when you don't even really know if you'll be alive tomorrow. Or the reverse could be that your mind has gone to the past. You are living and reliving a regret, a failure, a guilt that you can't seem to shake off, and neither can you change, but you just constantly replay in your mind trying to figure out how to fix it, and you truly never let it go. So you are consistently being caught in the past or the future, and you're never here in the very present moment that we are in right now. And that's why you are not fulfilled and you're less happy. So maybe it was a conversation with someone you love, a piece of music that caught you off guard, or maybe it was a moment in nature that made you stop, or something you were creating that put you so completely into itself that you looked up and an hour had passed. Would you agree with me that time felt different in that moment? You were not managing the moment, you were inside it. Now when you think about the last meeting you sat through while mentally writing your to-do list, or the dinner you ate while scrolling through your phone, or the conversation you were half inside while the other half of you was already checked out and completely gone somewhere else entirely. that was the same amount of time, but you had a completely different experience of what it meant to be alive. Now, the difference between those two moments had nothing to do with what you were doing. It had everything to do with how present you were while you were doing it. And that gap between just simply moving through your life and actually being in it is precisely where the fulfillment lives or disappears. So a monk was once asked by a student, how do I find peace in a world that just never stops moving, never stops changing, never stops being so crazy? He said something super simple, and you and I might think that this is just like hogwash, right? He said, when you wash the dishes, wash the dishes. So the student thought that he had misunderstood the question. He hadn't. The monk was saying that peace is not something you find between the moments. It is not found between your to-do list. It is something you build inside them. So no matter how mundane the task may be, whether it's washing the dishes, drying your clothes, drying your hair, having a shower, going for a walk, being present with your dog, just be present. The key is just to be present in every single waking moment that you have. The same monk said, the present moment is the only moment available to us, and it is the door to all of them. Because the past is simply a memory, and the future is just an idea. And the only place that life is actually happening for you and I is right here in this present moment. And the degree to which you are actually here, how present you are, how unhurried you are, how fully in this moment you are, is the degree to which you are actually alive inside your own life. So if you are going through your day feeling like you're not being present and alive, I think presence could be what you're missing from your daily routine or your waking consciousness. First, I want you to know that a productive day and a fulfilling day are two completely different things. So productivity measures what you have got done, right? You have done your checklist, your to-do list. But fulfillment measures how present you were while you're doing it. So you can have one without the other, and most people do every day. Now second, 47% of your waking life is spent somewhere else other than where you are. And that is a presence problem that is far more of a problem than it is a time problem. Because there is no amount of optimization and fixes that you can do that will change any of that if you don't address how you go about your day. Third, I want you to know that being present in any given moment is not a passive thing. It is not about doing less or slowing down. It is about bringing more of your awareness to whatever you are already doing. So if you're doing a to-do list, instead of just hurrying to finish it, I want you to actually feel that in that moment you are being present doing it, not thinking about the next task, not worrying about the task, 10 things later of what you're going to do in the evening when you're in the morning doing your, packing your lunch for your kids, okay? So here's what I want you to do starting right now. Just choose one ordinary moment that you are already doing and be completely in it, whether it be having your next meal or having a conversation with a friend or walk in the park with yourself or with your dog, or even just simply drinking a warm cup of coffee. I want you to notice how different that feels from every other moment in the day. If you're drinking your coffee and thinking about your meeting with your boss 10 hours later, 5 hours later, tomorrow, you're not actually drinking your coffee, you're drinking your coffee, but you're not in the moment and you're not tasting the coffee, you're not feeling every molecule of the caffeine and the cocoa beans in your tongue. If you just bring your awareness to your tongue and the smell of the coffee, I guarantee that in that moment you would feel more alive than you would drinking 10 cups of coffee tomorrow. Trust me. So, another famous monk, Thich Nhat Hanh, spent his entire life pointing to the same thing that we were talking about today, that being present does not require a monastery. It does not require you to be silent or be kept in solitude. It only requires one decision to be here, which you can make right now. Now, I really hope you got some value out of today's video, and you will make being present your number one priority. And I guarantee that fulfillment will just follow you like a shadow. You don't have to go searching for fulfillment. You just have to change how you see your day, how you see your to-do list, how you go about your meeting with your boss, and going about your time with your kids. Just being more present will change everything for you. And if you have any questions, if you want me to answer any other topics, I just want you to write it out very clearly what you're looking for, what you hope to find clarity in, and I'll do my best to write and do a video on it if I get a chance to go through it. Now, as always, you are seen. I love you so much. I hear you, and I see you guys in the next one. Bye.